They are one of the most widely used treatments across the country and in the metro. Intravenous therapy, or IVs, administer medication and more to help patients get on the mend. Tonight, a local healthcare worker has a warning for patients at BJC facilities. If you need an IV for medicine or blood, this whistleblower says the machines may malfunction.
And they claim that could have serious consequences. Chief investigative reporter Lauren Traeger brings us this exclusive story tonight.
Other local hospital systems quickly confirmed to First Alert 4 investigates what type of IV pump they use. But BJC has declined to answer many of our questions about their pumps. Sources, though, tell us BJC recently started using a new type of IV pump, and there have been complaints to the state and federal government about that new device. Now we're hearing from caretakers who also have concerns about these particular machines. Tonight, one whistleblower says while most patients will not be impacted, there is a potential for risk, especially for people on high-risk medications, and that's why they say they felt they had to speak out.
If BJC were to know my identity, I would lose my job immediately.
This whistleblower terrified of retaliation.
I'm willing to take that risk if it means that I'm keeping my patients safe.
As a care provider with close knowledge of hospital systems, they're more terrified of what they say is a potential danger inside BJC facilities.
Patients should not be being treated with these pumps. These pumps are not safe.
IV pumps are an absolutely critical part of hospital care. They're the machines that carry medicines or blood directly into a patient's veins. Truly life-saving, but only if they work correctly.
They still have the potential to cause great irreversible harm.
And that's exactly what this whistleblower tells us has happened. Recently, they say some BJC facilities replaced their IV pumps, switching from the brand Alaris to the Baxter Novum IQ large volume pump.
It's the Novum IQ infusion platform, giving you the support you need to help save and sustain lives.
Billed by the Baxter Healthcare Corporation as state-of-the-art, the pumps were cleared by the FDA in April last year. But within days of implementing them in BJC facilities, the whistleblower says staff started seeing and reporting major malfunctions.
Do you think people need to be aware that there are issues with this manufacturer?
I do. I absolutely do.
Issues, they say, like blood backing up into the tubing, the pump appearing to work but actually administering too much or too little medication, and worse, instances of the pump acting like a vacuum, sucking an entire bag of medication into a patient at rapid speed.
Is that a major problem?
That is a massive, horrifying problem. There are some medications that you can only get at a very specific rate. And if you were to get all of that medication at once, there's no coming back.
BJC will not confirm any of the whistleblower's claims, saying only, quote, due to HIPAA regulations, we cannot respond to any specific patient situation. And though we asked a number of detailed questions, a spokesperson declined to even say what type of pump they are using at which facilities, only saying specifically that no recent new pump technology has been deployed at Missouri Baptist Medical Center, but they would not comment as to which pumps are being used at any other facility. They provided a brief statement that reads, quote, as part of BJC's commitment to innovation that improves patient care, we regularly introduce new technology and do so under strict conditions. Delivering advanced care safely in an environment that supports healing is at the forefront of what we do. But the whistleblower says BJC is well aware of pump malfunctions. They provided us an email sent on March 3rd to staff acknowledging that, quote, there have been issues, saying Baxter is providing additional in-servicing / problem solving.
At this point, has any solution or fix that's been offered been sufficient?
No, they have all been Band-Aid solutions.
And nothing, they say, was wrong with the old pumps.
As soon as, these really horrific events started happening, why were these old pumps not pulled immediately?
Are you scared?
I am scared. We are scared. When a patient starts to not do well, we worry, is something going on with the patient, or is my pump malfunctioning?
Missouri's Department of Health confirms to First Alert 4 investigates they have received a complaint about the Baxter pumps, saying it will be reviewed and triaged following their normal process. Another brand of Baxter pump called Spectrum was the subject of an FDA alert last month, the company acknowledging an issue that could result in serious adverse health consequences. And last year, Canada warned consumers about a subset of the Novum IQ pump due to the potential for the keypad to malfunction. First Alert 4 Investigates also analyzed an FDA complaint database. Just in January and February this year, Baxter Healthcare reported close to 140 serious issues with its Novum IQ pumps. We don't know where the reports stem from, but the complaints indicate issues like the pump administering drugs at higher than ordered rates, others indicating no flow at all. 6 reports in just 2 months indicated an injury.
I will tell you, I've heard concerns with every infusion pump on the market.
Ricky Chase, a former investigator for the FDA, familiar with IV pumps, says unfortunately complaints against all brands of the medical devices are not unusual.
It's an inherently challenging medical device that, from a design perspective, has not been perfected.
Issues, she says, are often underreported by hospitals generally, but serious overdoses from IV pumps, she says, are not common. Still, if anyone has concerns, including patients, they should report them to the FDA.
Make sure that the healthcare providers coming in and paying attention to the alarm, pay attention to the medication that's being put in there, right? If the medication is all of a sudden disappearing very quickly, that's a problem.
My intent is not to instill fear or cause panic to our patients or their loved ones, but I do want them to understand the risk.
This provider says they do simply want patients to be informed.
And it is such a privilege to provide them care, and I just want them to know that we are fighting for them and we are trying to raise the red flags and do what is right for them.
I spoke with another BJC caregiver who also confirmed some of the issues, lamenting those Baxter pumps, wishing they could go back to the old pumps instead. Now, the Alaris Pump 2 has faced recalls and has their own list of complaints to the FDA as well, but the whistleblower says they've never experienced anything like what they say is happening with the Baxter pumps. We asked Alaris why BJC made the switch, and they said, quote, they do not comment on individual customers. A spokesperson for the FDA got back with us and said, quote, as a general matter, the FDA does not disclose internal discussions it may be having with any particular firm. Now, we reached out to Baxter multiple times but have not heard back. We do want to hear from patients and care providers about this. You can call our tip line at 314-390-5392 or email us at investigates@firstalert4.com. I'm Lauren Traeger. First Alert 4 investigates.